Hey everyone, welcome to Hanging with Hoopers podcast. Another speakers highlight, I should say, for Energize 25. If you haven't registered yet, get off the fence, be there, bring somebody on your team who can help you increase your book of business by doing the right things. The right focus in 2025 is what it's going to take. And while we're bringing this panel back, this expert panel, number one, you all asked for them back because of the practical, implementable strategies that they brought last Energize. But we're bringing them back because so much has changed. So much has changed in a year when it comes to AI and content. But really, what we're going to focus in on is you don't need to go do what everybody else is doing. And you probably don't need to do half of what all the marketing companies out there are trying to sell you on to go do. JJ, like, really, just to bring this all into focus, why don't you kick us off? We'll just go around the room. Like, where do we need to start as a title company in 2025?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. So much has changed, but at the same time, I almost feel like you have to get and simplify down now, right? Like there's too much going on. You get so distracted with
There is.
everything. Like the most important thing is like what can you implement today, right now, that's going to have an impact, and then build on it. One of the big conversations I'm having all the time is, obviously video. I'm a video production company, but everyone's looking at video as what everyone else is doing. It's that top of funnel awareness marketing of who can be the loudest and attract the most views. And don't be wrong, like, yeah, sure, there is some validity to that, but there's so many more places to use video in your business. I really love to look at two main areas, right? Your sales process. How do we leverage video to increase your conversions? And your fulfillment process, right? How do we use video to better communicate with your clients, giving them a top tier experience, increasing your reviews and increasing your referrals? Because those are so much easier fixes and have such a bigger impact. If you've got a bucket that has holes in it, you don't put more water at the top, you fix the holes in the bucket first, right? So that's really, I think, one of the big focuses that I'd recommend for 2025 is fix those fulfillments, fix that sales process, get those as good as possible, and then you can maximize the leads that are coming in.
I love what you say there, JJ, about scaling the business and focusing on that customer experience. I think that's where I want to talk to the folks and focus on that is using video and focusing on those steps through the customer journey and using video to always put your best foot forward, but also to be quick, solve the problem quick for the customer experience and making it a better customer experience. So using video, we're planning on bringing lots of scripts and ideas to this team to help them do that, right? So like, what do you even do? How do you put your best foot forward? How do we address these using the 4 S's, which is the script and the video? So it's great, and it is the right way to do it. Focusing on your business and your customer experience, and bringing in that video and those evergreen videos is a place to do it. So I'm looking forward to seeing folks so we can talk about that more.
That's awesome, Frankie. I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what kind of updates and changes you guys made over at BombBomb and how they can be easily implemented. For me, the biggest thing is every time I talk with a realtor, I talk with a lender, I even talk with a title agency, they're typically facing the same exact kind of problems. They lack communication and transparency with their database, with their clientele. They don't know how to set expectations so that the message actually gets across from husband to wife, because you might be talking to Andrew, but if Andrew's not in the same room as Tim, what you're going to say to both of them at different time frames is going to be completely different. So
We're both hoopers, man.
I know, but so what we want to do is make sure that we learn how to leverage technology really to set the proper expectations and make them a part of our process. And really, one of the other biggest challenges that I see right now in the marketplace is blaming the issues for outside things that are outside of your control. Well, the agent didn't communicate these things or they didn't say these things. So for me, what's extremely important is to take a proactive approach in the way that we educate not only the realtor, but also the consumer for us to deliver that exceptional service that JJ was talking about. And the way that you do that is by providing a personalized approach, right? Even though that the communication that you might have is one to many, you can always make it feel like it's one to one because you're providing an experience. And the way I always preach it and teach it inside of my business and to the people that we work with is our job is to drop the skepticism and then build the trust. So how do we drop that skepticism? It's not just going to be made through like brand awareness campaigns. Brand awareness, in my opinion, should be the last thing that we think about when we think about scaling and growing a business. You first want to go ahead and generate the business, qualify the business, convert the business, and then build brand awareness based on the people that have identified your services as being valuable. So I'm excited to bring all of that to the table. And I might be sharing with you guys too, like we have kind of an 11-step process that we built for internal communications with realtors that I think would apply to you guys as well.
Yeah, I can't wait.
1000%.
Yeah, you guys are an incredible lineup. And we had a lot of fun on the panel last year. I know we're going to go even deeper this year as we think about amplifying. I mean, JJ, you hit the nail on the head. So many folks are out there investing so much on the top end of the funnel. And when I'm out there talking to title sales reps, all I'm hearing is, well, I'm able to quote somebody, but then they're not closing with me. Or something's falling down in our process, and so they're having a bad experience and walking away. Or how can I get better at actually selling somebody title insurance when they don't want it, or they don't know that they need it, right? And so these are like very real problems that we're going to dig into on the panel for your sales of title insurance. And yes, how to proactively build relationships with realtors and lenders, especially the non-directing side, putting your best foot forward. Frankie, you said it best, like being more human in those touches, and how can you leverage video to do that? And then Michael, I think so often we fall down what you said, building trust, right? Like there's some awareness, someone gives you an opportunity, and then some of our first touches can kind of kill the deal if we're not establishing trust right away. So we're going to dig in, guys. I promise you this panel is going to be extremely practical. We're going to take actual cases that we all see in the field and show you how you can flip some of those things from order open to closing and post-closing, how you can flip some of those things in your process to make them radically human, put your best foot forward, and also scale so you have more time to do a better job for more folks. So you don't want to miss it. Get registered. This is going to be an extremely powerful panel.
Yeah, I love it. I love everything that was shared. One thing I will say is we have more power as sales professionals and as agency owners, branch managers, and attorneys. We have more power at our fingertips than we give ourselves credit for. And I'll say it like this. We're already past the time for us to get our face on camera. We're now at the point where we should be leveraging our internal team. And we're going to be talking about amplifying our communication, right, on this panel, amplifying it. And we can help them do that. They don't have to go be professional at camera. We can help them do that. And I look at our team, the wizards behind the curtain, as intellectual property. They're our IP. And anyone knows in sales, to win, to build higher trust in the marketplace, you need to leverage that IP, right? So how do we do that in transactional moments that wow? And not so much even because you can do it the same as everybody else and get by. So you might be communicating now and getting by fine. But what's the opportunity cost for you by not amplifying, by not doubling down and 10x in your communication and client experience? What's the opportunity cost? Or how easy is it for a real estate agent to go elsewhere because they're doing it exactly the same, or somebody takes one tiny step past what you're doing? So really, I want to think about amplifying our communication as a team. We have more power. It's time for us to leverage our team and stop thinking just about our face, get their faces on camera, and start and really take that to the next level. And this team right here, very practical. In fact, Frankie, you shared something last Energize very practically from stage that I was like, oh, and I started doing it. Did you know that's my highest watched video today? So guys, if you weren't there last year, I hope Frankie might share just that really quickly, and it'll really change your sales. But be in the room, very practical stuff coming. Any last nuggets? Any last things to share, anybody?
Well, can I share an anecdote?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I recently started working with a real estate agent who has been doing a lot of her videos with a title agency, but she doesn't ever close with them.
Wow.
She closes with the title agency that has given her the best experience.
Yeah.
So I asked her why, and she said, well, they're really good and they help me out. Every now and then I'll drop something by, but I just have such a great experience working with this people. And I said, what's the experience? And it was communication. It's availability, it's flexibility, it's trust that's been built. It is the constant reinforcement of this is why you choose to work with us, right? And I said, that's very interesting. So it's just kind of one of those things as we talk about building trust, earning business every single day. It's sometimes we try to do so much of what JJ said is continue to fill the bucket when there's holes that we should be plugging in. And that was, as you said that, I started thinking, I was like, that kind of applies. So,
Yeah.
you know,
It exactly applies. You're exactly right, Michael. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that really in any business, in any industry, right, there's always, a bunch of marketing tactics or gimmicks or things that can get people in the door. But at the end of the day, the businesses that'll be the most successful are the ones that are delivering a fantastic service, right? So
Absolutely right.
I think it's time to think long term and not about how do I just get that one deal today, but what do I do to make sure my business is sustainable for a very long time?
Yep.
So yeah, to put a little bow on this and bring us to a close here, I would just say we're going to help you on this panel point to some holes that you may be aware about or that you may not be aware about. We're going to tie and connect the dots to the strategy and the actual tech solution that will plug that hole. And then coming out of Energize, it's going to be up to you to work with us on getting that done. We're going to execute. And I can't tell you how excited I was this year to get out in the field and work with so many folks on the welcome video, on some of the things that we talked about on the panel last year. I know it's only going to amplify this year as we start pointing out some of these additional parts where you can really take it to the next level. So guys, Michael, Frankie, JJ, Tim, man, I'm excited. Energize this year is going to be lit. So be in the room.
Don't miss it.
Can't
That's
wait.
great. Can't wait.
Thank you for listening. Please take a moment to like our podcast and consider subscribing. Your support means the world to us.